Yeah, thank you, Mr. Femi. Um, Mirak, you said you can't see what?
Okay, it's back on. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we have different tags like dash L, we have dash P, we have dash C, dash P. So if you want to know about it, just do man Hydra and you'll be able to read about each of the tags that we are using here. So that's, but I'll just use the common ones or the ones that like is important actually that we know that we make use of most times here. So it's Hydra dash L. So dash L is for username. So username is always whenever you want to use a particular what's the name? Like you want to attack someone, like you want to do brute forcing and you know the person's username already, but you don't know the person's password because brute force is just you guessing either you're guessing username or password. So if I know the person's username, I'll be using small letter L. Or if I do not know the person's username, I'll use capital letter L. Our next tag is dash P. So dash P, small letter P means I know the person's password. You know, I said brute forcing is just you guessing either username or password. So I can know the person's password. I don't know the person's username. I want to guess the person's username. I can know the person's username and I don't know the person's password. Or I don't even know the person's username and password. So I can supply what's the name? Word list for both and it looks for the username and password for me. So I can, if I'm using dash P, that's small letter P, that means I do not know the person's password. I only know the person's sorry, I know the person's password, I mean. I don't know the person's username, so I need to get the person's username. So or I can do dash P in capital letter to supply a word list. So word list, if I'm using capital letter P or capital letter L, it means I do not know the person's username. I just want to guess both aspect of it. Then the next thing we will supply is I will supply those things back as when we get is your website. Which particular website are you interested in getting access to? So at this point, no, this is our website actually, and our link is 127.0.0.0. And that's like the website link, and that is what you can see me using here. So the next thing here is to know what kind of request is this website actually like doing, like what kind of request has been implemented. So we have either post or get. So from just looking at the URL, sometimes you can actually like guess what kind of request actually that this particular form is using. So you can see it says username here. That's the username I typed, and the password here. This is the password I typed. So you can see. So this actually means this is a get request. It is only get request you see the variables that you've typed actually your username and password in plain text. So this is a get request, but we can also get that through inspecting. By the time we inspect the page, we should be able to get that. Another thing we can do is you can see it says method is get. Another thing we can do is also we can use Bob suit to capture the whole what's the name, to capture the request, and from there you will see to show you if it is a get request or post request. So now that we know it is a get request, we'll do this. um oh, it should be in small letter. So it is a form and it is a get request, and also it is not a secured website. It is actually not an HTTPS website. You all know 127 is not like it is a local, so it's not HTTPS, so it is HTTP website actually. So it is an HTTP get, then the what's the name? It's a form also. So that is that part of it. So the next part we need to do now is this particular form is hosted on this particular sorry, it is on 127.0 on this website, but it is not just on 127.0.0, it is in a particular folder called vulnerabilities slash brutes. I don't know if you can see this part. So that means if I go to this server 127.0.0.1 and I navigate to this particular folder, vulnerabilities to slash root, I'll see this particular form. That is where the form is being saved actually. So that means that is the location, which is the next thing we need to supply in what's the name? Um that's the next thing we need to supply actually for us to, because what we're actually trying to do here is we are giving Hydra as much information as it needs to be able to find the username and password that we actually like need. So we need to specify the folder where it is. So for specifying folder, we can do it. We can use the link, like what's the name? The link here, or we can use Bob Suit. Bob Suit shows us the folder also, or we can also inspect. If we inspect also, we can also find that particular folder. It will be somewhere. Uh, uh, um, it will be somewhere inside it, inside and somewhere here actually. I don't really want to go into that because we have almost 1 hour is gone already, and I need to leave this call by latest before 6. So okay, I think the easiest thing to do is all this thing I'm talking about. I'll just use Bob to capture the whole thing, and I'll show you guys what I've been saying. So yes, so we need to specify the folder. You can see here the folder is vulnerabilities slash brute, which I'm vulnerabilities, and yeah. So okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off with I'll capture the request and you will see what I'm saying. Let Box to start up. So that is the folder actually. So the next thing we need to supply is we need to show Bob Suit. Okay, because what we have done so far here is we are telling Bob Suit, sorry, we are telling Hydra, I at this okay, this what I actually have here is that capital letter L. That means I don't know the username. So I'm meant to supply the word list at the front. I'll do that later. I don't know the password. I have to supply the word list. Hydra, I want you to go to this particular website. These are the word list for my username and my password. Then this is the type of form that is hosted on that particular website or link or whatsoever. This is the location of the website. So you still need to tell Hydra because you have to it's just like you're actually like speaking English to Hydra actually. You have to give Hydra the whole information that it needs. So okay, I can just where is it? So I will show us how to capture the what's the name to capture the whole thing. So we have to like give Hydra everything it needs. So now we've known the folder where Hydra where that particular form is. What other informations do we need to give? We need to give Hydra informations like so okay before don't let me intercept now. Just I'm just trying to like capture the whole what's the name, the request so that you guys can see. Um, yeah. Your response from remote server. You joking? Okay. What's the inbox it? Okay. So I can intercept now. So I'm just going to use like random information. Now I have my request captured. So this is the request. So you can see it is a get request, and this is the folder that that particular stuff is, the form is, and you can see it's asking for the username and the password. So all these parts that we're actually like seeing here, they are very, very important, which is like the next thing we're actually like going to do. So I'll just go to my terminal back and show us what the next thing, like the next thing to do. So now we specified the folder. What is the next thing we need to specify? The next thing we need to specify is the username and password. So one thing that is very, very important is you might need your box to actually like capture. It is always good when you use box to capture the request so that you can see how it is being written. Because sometimes the developers are very tricky. They won't use, you can see here it says username is this, password is this. They might not use username just to confuse the attacker. They know every attacker might actually like just use username. Maybe they're trying to like attack a particular maybe let's say I don't know if it is because I'm not really a developer. Maybe it's a placeholder for the username. Some of them might use, I think in case of OneWeb, they use uname, not username. So if you're the one that you're not trying to like attack one web and you're not using username is equals to this, it will not get like the placeholder is not on the form, so it will not really get whatever you're saying. Some actually like even twist it to the point that they won't even use anything that has to do with username. They will use something entirely different from that. So you need to capture the request, see what exactly is being requested, what you actually like meant to supply back to Hydra for Hydra to be able to um for Idea to be able to like do what it knows how to do best actually like to attack the website better. So now we already know the username, they are all in lowercase, so you have to follow the way it is. So the username now we want Hydra to know where exactly is the username field. So one thing we do here is we use this carat. Yeah. So what we do here is we use what's the name? This thing, this part. Look, let me just type the whole thing and I'll just come back and explain it. And that's a bit like this. Just that's okay. So this is what this is just going to do. So it's telling Hydra, go to this particular website. This is the type of form that is on the website. This is the location of the form. So the username is user. So this character tells Hydra like this form, this field, you have to like fill it with whatever I've supplied as that is my dash L, whatever I've supplied as dash A, that's what you will input here. And whatever I supply as dash P should be what that you should input here as pass. So this thing is just like you trying to like communicate with Hydra and let Hydra know what exactly it's going to do. Or better still, if you just want to like do it faster, use a box to capture the the request and copy this part. Just copy this part. That is all what you need. So when you copy this part, it already show you vulnerabilities. That's the location, the reason why your password, then the login also, login button. Sorry, the login button. That is and login equals to login. That's just talking about the login button. So I'm going to just input that also. And login equals to login. So you can see from a particular website, the button says login. If we inspect, okay, so let me see if we can get that part. If we actually like inspect the whole thing, you will see all this thing I'm saying, like they are actually like, is it this one I'm actually like need to use or the second one? I'm actually not a software developer, so sometimes I get really, really confused with all this. I'm not a coding guy. Yeah. So we have where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This is the form action. Okay. So you can see this is the username. This is the password, and this is the submit button, which the submit button name is login, and the value is login. think I've actually like made mistake here. So the what's the name? The button itself is login. Like the name of the button is login, and the what's the name? The value that has to like that is on it is login. So it's just like us trying to point Hydra to the form, to the way the form is actually, so that Hydra can actually like understand. It's like we are giving Hydra all the information here, so that when it crosses the website, it knows what exactly it's looking for and it knows what exactly it's going to do there. So the next thing for us to do here is, after we've supplied that, there is one other thing that should catch our attention, and that is, I'll show us on Inbox Suite now. So this is the request. This is the host. Then we have some other informations like that here, and you can still see it is you can see here it's showing us HTTP dot like the website link, then where exactly it is, and we can see it is not an HTTP website, it is HTTP website. And you can see there's something at this part, this aspect that says cookie. That's the cookie ID is this, and the security is low. So we need to factor that into whatever we actually like writing. So the cookie now. So we understand what is cookie actually. Let me just start from there. Don't let me assume we all know what cookie is. If you know what cookie is, please can you just unmute your mic and tell us what cookie is? What do you think cookie is? Hello.
Um, Cookies are like fragments of visits to your web pages. So that when you come back to them, you won't load it as a fresh page. You just continue because the system has a fragment or a piece of the data you've getting through that page. So it saves it up. So when you come back to that page, you just go back to the directory the cookies are, and then just load up your data from there.
Okay. Thank you. Who else wants to say anything again? Okay. So yeah, that's correct. And cookies, they don't like it. Actually, like can do a lot of things. Actually, it can save informations. It can serve as a kind of a check. So let's say you actually like want to try to like attack a website and you don't know the cookie, like the cookie, then it might be very hard. It is just like a kind of like a password that gives you access into a particular area. And also it is also used to save informations. So let's say it picks some informations about the host and it saves them somewhere, so that whenever you're actually like coming back, it's used that same cookie, or it's more like, it works more like a session ID or something like that. So sometimes we have session hijacking. If okay, I think if we are talking, if when we get to CSRF, we will see how people hijack other people's cookies or session IDs, and they use it like attackers. They use it to log in or to like access resources, using like claiming to be that particular person. So cookie is just a way of um you storing informations about a person's like session or something. So this here we can see we have cookie here and it's telling us the security is low. So let me just show us how to get cookie from the we can also get the cookie from our website here. So we come to under storage, we have to come to cookie. You click on the particular website you have, and you can see this is our cookie, this is the ID, this is the cookie, and we have some other information. You can see it stores some information actually, like the domain, the path, the max expiring, the age, size, HTTP only. Like that's a lot of information. When I even access the website and blah, 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 all those information is actually like saved already. So I can get my cookie from here, or I can get my cookie from Bob Suits if I want. Any one of them is valid actually. So what we need to do now is to supply our cookie, because if we do not supply our cookie, the website, like, sorry, Hydra will not be able to have access to, because what we're actually like doing is we're trying to like give Hydra the maximum access that it needs so that it can start its testing. So we have, so to supply the, what's the name now, cookie now, we need a flag that's H, and it says is equals to cookies. So for us to now supply that, we need to start from the cookie ID. That's PHP SESSID. I think I'm correct with that. PHP SESSID. Yes, that's correct. Equals to, so what's now the cookie? We've already used the cookie ID. So we now need to supply the value of cookie. So for you to do that, you need to double click on the value and right click on it. You can copy it from there, or you can come to Bob suit, just highlight the whole thing and copy it. It depends on which one works better for you. So I'm just going to paste that. That is my cookie. And the next thing we need to specify is what's the name? See, the security. It should be in lowercase. The, what's the name? We are talking about what's the brute forcing, and you can see here the security level is low. The security level is low, so that is why we actually like need to like supply, tell what that it's part of the information we need to give to, what's the name, Bob suits. I'm sorry, to Hydra. I don't know why I keep saying Bob suit. To Hydra actually, so that Hydra can know what exactly it needs to do. So now I'll just go over the whole thing again before we continue. So I said Hydra dash L means this is my username, this is my password. Go to this particular website that has a get form in this location. I want you to look for username, which has a place value of user, password, which has a place value of pass, and the submit button, which has a place value of login. Then the website will ask you for cookie, which is, this is the cookie ID that I've supplied there. The security in the website is low. That is what we've done so far. Then the next thing we need to let Hydra know is, let's see something that actually happens. So if I'm using something random, like I want to like log into the website, something is always popping up. So it's loading and it's done loading. Username and or password is incorrect. So the last aspect of this thing that we need to tell Hydra is, Hydra, whenever you try a username and a password and you see this particular word there, that means whatever you've tried is incorrect. Or Hydra, whenever you try this and this, like the username and password, and you see this particular flag, whatever you've seen is correct. So we just need what I just explained now. We need to now put it into writing now, just to make it make sense. So that means, Hydra, try this username, try this password, and whenever I click on login and this particular word shows up, it means whatever you've tried is not correct. So go to the next one. Just do like that till you get something that when you try the username and the password and it is not showing you this thing, that means that one is correct. But any other one that you try and it shows you this particular word here, it means it is not correct. So let's put that in English. So to do that, we just use the flag F equals to username. It's just the same way they wrote it. That's just the same way we are going to write it, so that Hydra will be able to match both together. And password incorrect. I just hope I've not made any mistake in my spelling or something. Yeah. And if there is a dot there, then we can now close the, what's the name? The column or semicolon or double colon, then yeah. So this is just the command we actually like need to do. Like we need actually, this is all the command we need. So we say Hydra I'm giving you the username, I'm giving you the password. Oh, sorry, I'm giving you the username, I don't know the password. Or I'm giving you, I don't even know the both password and username, I don't even know. So I want you to go to this particular website. It has this type of form there in this particular folder. Navigate to this folder. You should see something that has to do with username that has a placeholder for user. The password also, the placeholder is passed. Then there is a button that is used to log in. The placeholder is login. So when you've located these three things already in the website, I just want you to start trying whatever I've supplied here, the user and password I've supplied. Just keep trying both of them. But before you be able to try those things, you need a cookie, which this is the cookie ID. That is the one that we use to log into this website here. This is the active cookie. Use it, and the security is also low. So use these two informations there to gain maximum access to the website. And I want you to do one more thing. Whenever you try the username and the password and this word shows up, that means whatever you've tried is incorrect. So just keep on trying and keep trying and keep trying. That is like the English translation of everything that I've written here. And okay, so let's just supply. So I will just, what I'll be doing here now is, even when we know the username and the username to be admin, because that was what we used to log in. So we'll just assume we don't know the username and we don't know the password. So we'll be supplying word list to Hydra for both username and password. So to supply what's the name? A word list. So the best thing to do is just to navigate to wherever you've downloaded your what's the name? You downloaded your file, that's your set list. Or if you want to use your own personal word list, then it's fine too. Anyone works actually. So I'll just navigate to where my word list is. So I have a word list called rocky.txt. I think I want to use rocky.txt. Is it leak database? Yeah, this is rocky.txt. So what I'm going to do here is, another thing that can get you confused is getting to know the location of this thing, of this file. So the easiest thing to do is just drag the file. Okay, before you even drag the file, move your mouse, be the cursor actually, to the perfect place you want this thing to be. You want your word list to be. Then you can come to your file explorer. Just drag that particular thing and push it. Like drag it to your terminal and leave it. So automatically it's going to fill the location for you. So the location of my word list, the first one, that's the word list for the username now, is /home/kali/desktop/setlist /password. If you do not get this thing very well, like get it right, you might have issues with it. So what I'm doing here is now saying, Hydra, I don't know my username, so this is the word list I'm supplying. Use this word list to anything that you see there, use it as the username. So you just keep on trying them as the username. And for my password also, so we have to supply a password. So I will use this same rocky.txt also as my password. So we just remove the colon there. Yeah. So now the command is complete. Hydra, this is my word for my username. This is the word list for my password, because I don't know this person's username and password. This is the website we are going to, and it has a get form in this particular location. It has a username field with user as the placeholder. It has a password field with pass as the placeholder. Then it has a login button with login as the placeholder. So you need cookie and the security level to get full access. Whenever you try the username and the password and you see something like username and or password is incorrect, that means that -f means it is failed. That means you should just keep on doing it. So this is all what we actually like need, and we can click enter. So right now, Hydra has started its work already. So it will start trying both username and password. Why it is doing that, you can see this is just what so HTTP get blah 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 blah. So it tells you the login is, so it's trying 1 2 3 4 5, and and it will try the password. You see, you can see it is trying, it will pick the first. Let me show you the word list, and so that you can see what word list looks like. Mhm. So, why is this one why is this one not opening? No, open and okay. I think, let me just allow okay. It is eating up the old, what's the name? Let me just stop it, because I think this Rocky.txt has about 5,000, and there are many listings. So you can see what is actually like happening here. So let's look at it. What exactly is happening here? Okay. So you can see it picks 1 2 3 4 5 6 as the username, and it picks 1 2 3 4 5 7 8 9 as the password. It picks the second one too. Like this same 1 2 3 5 6. It will try with all the like everything. So this is what is happening here. It picks this one first as the username. It will not try it with everything that you have here. It will come back again, pick the next one, this next one as the username. It will try it with everything that you can see. It will come back again, pick this one again as the username. It will try it with everything. So you can see it is a lot of work that is actually like doing. And that is why it has like this, the CP actually like went up, it spiked up, because it is doing a lot of computation. It's trying everything possible. So that is just the meaning of brute force. You are trying different combinations just to see which one fits in. So for us not to spend that much time, actually, which we do not, because we don't have that much time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewrite the O command. Sorry, I'll just rewrite, instead of supplying word list for the username. So we'll just give it the username. We just want it to look for the password alone itself. So that doesn't take much of our time. I think I need to close. Yeah. So what I will just do is I will supply the username. I will supply the username, and we'll just leave it to look for the password for us. So for me to supply the username, I'll change the capital letter L to small letter L, and the username is admin. Admin, because whenever we actually like log into DVW, we use admin actually. Or even in most cases in organizations, maybe when they get maybe when they get, what's the name, when they actually like maybe buy a new router or a new server, they're always having a particular what's the name, like a default login, like admin, and users using like random password or whatever password comes with the router. Or maybe when you buy a new system or something like that, people used to have admin. They love using admin actually. So we can just assume, actually assuming this particular person that actually like a victim use admin randomly. So let's send and see. This should not take as much time as it did the first time. So, okay. Yes. So it has success 16. So it was able to find 16 valid password actually. You can see the difference. I don't know if you guys still remember Bob suit that we used last week. So Bob suit is just, the only difference is the length. We just look at the length in Bob suit and see which one actually like looks different. Which one is different from whatever this that we have. But for, what's the name? Hydra, it is going to show us the exact thing. Okay, well, so whenever we use admin and whatever password, it should work. But I feel this is even wrong, safe. But we'll try it. So let's try admin and 12345 since it's telling us it is valid. Rocky.txt has over 1,000 names or numbers or whatever is there, and it is showing us like out of the whole thing that it has scanned, it is just 16 that is okay there. So let's try that. So I'll just come back here and we'll try admin, and it's telling us the one that is okay here is 12345. So I'll try 12345 and see it is not correct. So I know that actually is not correct, but we know this one is correct. I'm very sure this is correct. This is correct. And let's try Rocky also. Okay, let me try admin and let me in. I think that should be correct also. That one too is not correct. Okay. Okay, I think the problem here is the password are actually like correct, but not with this username. Because I know let me in is one of the password, but it is not with admin. But let's try admin and which one here? Admin and password, and let's see the response you should have. Okay, so welcome to the password protected area. That means that one is correct. This thing is actually like more of like guessing, but ideally it used to be very accurate then, but I don't know why it is not as accurate, like accurate anymore. Yeah, but I know this one is correct actually. Let me try one more. Let me try this Nicole. Um, that one too is not correct. But I believe this is like the only correct one I know that this one is correct. So possibly when it gives you a list, you need to just keep trying the whole thing and okay, let me just try one more thing and see if I'm the one making. Let me just try that and see. It's still showing me the 016. Okay. So yeah, this is just the way the syntax for what's the name? Hydra works actually. So Hydra dash L, you can try it on something else. You can try it on the Von Web. I think we talked about Von Web before. So you can try it on Von Web and see if it works or not. So just capture Von Web, the request, you get all your information that you need there and use it to fill up the whole thing. And anybody just do it and send it to me if you've done it. Send it to me either on WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp will be better. Yeah, so if you just try this Hydra command on Von Web, but you have to like, I don't think Von Web does not have what's the name? Um what's the name? Session ID. So you might not need session ID in Von Web. So try this thing with Von Web and let's see the outcome of whatever you want, like you'll be guessing. And also you can do this also on your own and see if it works for you. And yeah, we'll move on from there. Any question, please?
Okay. D, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to be using a scenario. In cases whereby they're making use of a secured HTTPS,
Okay.
number one. At that point, would they be able to still perform this brute force attack? I know they can, but is it going to still be the same method we just
It,
used?
yes, it will be the
And
same.
number
Okay, yeah. Continue.
okay. And number two, for systems, I know there are systems that don't use query as login. There are systems that make use of posts for login sections, and you can't access the username password on your query this and it goes through the
Yes.
backend itself.
Yeah.
How would you now perform this attack? Because you are trying to put in the username and password on the front end, that's on the query. But
Yes.
at that point, how do you do it?
Okay. So for
Okay.
that, actually, that means you need to like for okay, how will I put this? So for every no, okay, I don't want to say no system has the same thing. Though we have some system that has actually almost the same thing, but there will be a slight difference. So for every attack, actually, you need to how will I put it? You need to do your reconnaissance. So for the one you are actually talking about, let's say they use HTTPS, so you can't see the information actually the username and the password. But one thing you can do is you can use both suites. I think I've done something similar to that before in one of my projects when I was in during my master's actually. So the woman actually told us to go and work on a live website. She told us to go to all this Aka one, like the real bug bounty guys. We should look for this was like one of our project that we did. I think about 50% of our project in ethical hacking. So she told us to go to the website and look for anything that is there and just make sure we find vulnerabilities in any of the listed entities for us. So I went to account and I've been trying different things and I did not get any of the websites. So I think I stumbled on one particular bug bounty request on I think it was account one too. And one thing I noticed was I could like there was one particular place like the parameters. So one thing some people do is they just try to like change parameters. It's a secured website actually, and I can't even remember the way. Only if I can get my report. I think I'll go through my report and show you guys how actually if I can get my report and I will show you guys how I actually like did the whole thing. So on the website, actually, I use both suits to capture the request. I think I sent it to either intruder or repeater, one of the two. I shall sent it to one of those things, and I started changing some fields there. I was trying to like mess up with the request, and I don't even know how I actually like did it. I was able to get into their system, and that was what I actually like did for the whole thing. And the woman actually like gave me an A in the course. So you need to just the first thing is you need to gather as much information as possible first. And it is not just Hydra alone. Even Hydra can work for even when it is a post request. If it is not a get request, it can work for post request too. But the cocoa is you need to get your get the what's the name, the request first. See the way it is, like the way it is. All requests, not every request like looks this way. There are a lot of different things that you see. There are some requests that you won't even see the username and password. There are some that you see the username and password, but they are encrypted. Some they've hashed them already. So you might just need to do reverse engineering, or if you know the kind of algorithm they use, you kind of let's say maybe they use MD5, and you know MD5 actually like has what's the name? They don't use it anymore because it's kind of it has some faults in it. So you can go to some website that you can supply some MD5 hashes and it takes you back and you can actually easily get your password and your username. So it's just for I can't say this is like the way that you should go about it. But when you do your gathering of information, what I do most times, if I'm actually like interacting with a new system, I make use of AI a lot and that Stack Overflow also. I use those two a lot actually. I just want to like gather as much information as possible. What we just did there now, ideally, if I forward this thing now, I know we should know all know what we actually like we should be getting there. This one should be it should show us field password and blah blah like that. Field password. So let me try the same rubbish again and send it. And we'll come here. What I'm just going to do here is I'm just going to edit the field here. If I edit the field here, add me and this is the request I'm sending. It shows I've gotten into it. So it just depends on each what's the name, like what system are you actually like interacting with. I think one thing I did was I went to that particular website. I need to look for that particular like the submission I did. I went to the website. I was just looking at the whole website. I stumbled on a particular email address there. And for you to log into that particular website, you need the email address and a password. I did not know the password. I saw a particular maybe info at that particular those guys' website. I saw it. So I captured the request and I now use that their email address. Then in the password, I don't know if I use a word list. I know I did something there. I messed up with that request and I got into their system. And that was all what I did. You just need to look for a way to just like there is no one way in ethical hacking. So you just have to like start gathering different information. Sometimes you might just need to go to the website, just look at the way the website is being structured. Sometimes some of them they will put their CEO's picture, the all their top guys. From there, you can see the person's information, maybe the person's names, full name, take the person's full name, go to LinkedIn, put it there. In almost every top C-level guys are on LinkedIn. Put the person's there. You see the person's information. Maybe he lives in San Francisco. He has 2 kids. From there, that is you gather so many informations in different places, and you now have to like put those informations together for it to make sense. And that is what will now make you to um like have kind of like to come up with an attack. Sometimes you just run nmap on it, check for what's the name, open ports. When you check for open port, you can see maybe there's a particular port that is open, or there's a particular service. Maybe they are running Tomcat 2.5 that has been outdated. Go to CVE, put Tomcat 2.50 vulnerabilities. It will show you the vulnerabilities. Just from there, it will even tell you on, I think on CV, to tell you how to even exploit that vulnerability. Go back there, go on. If they don't have maybe a firewall, they don't have any other systems that can protect them from that particular vulnerability. You get in, you exploit, and you are in. And you get all the, maybe if it is data you're looking for, or you're trying to install a rootkit, or you are trying to like install a malware, that is just that. But you just need to do constant practice. Actually, it needs a lot of practicing for you to be able to like be proficient in ethical hacking. You need a lot of reading and the likes. I don't know if that answers your question.
To some extent, it
So make
does.
I know it can
Thank
I
you.
can't answer that question 100% because it is not just one, does not have a direct answer actually. There is no direct answer to it. That's why you have about 30 minutes, man. I still want us to do. I was actually thinking we'll be able to do what's the name today? Um the next one. Let me just close this box with and so the next one here is command injection. I was thinking, I think we can just do the introduction of, or we can do it. I think we can do it in 30 minutes. Or do we have any question based on what we've done for the on the brute force? Is there any question? No question. Okay. So the next one here says it's a command injection. So what is command injection? Command injection is just it occurs when an attacker, which is at this point it is us, can run a command on a remote system. Let's say a web application or a server they did not properly then they are doing the configuration, or possibly it does not handle users requests. For example, this particular webs what's the name website that we have here now, it says I should enter an IP address. I can enter 127.0.0.1, which is my local host. And what it's going to do is going to ping a device, and you can see it as a pinged device. And that is just what this particular website is meant for. So when the developer, like those guys actually like develop this thing, they, though we know this is for testing, but even in real life, this is actually like happening in real life, where a particular for this request now, this 127.0.0 that I just did now, this is actually like what is actually like happening here. So let's clear this. So this is being, I think, C4, and yeah, so this is exactly what they are doing. So let's look at both response. Let me just take this one up a little one so I can see. ping 127 baba, you can see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It did it 4 times, and this is the same thing that is happening here. And when you check the statistics, also you have almost the same thing that you can see. So what this is doing is it's taking this particular request or this particular IP address. It is, without us knowing, it is opening our terminal and running that particular command, and it is giving us that information. So that is what they've done here is perfect actually. But most developers do this thing on their website, and they are not handling user input correctly, because there is a vulnerability in this which some people do not actually like know. Before we even come to this particular website, let's come back here and do something there. So this is my terminal. I can do ping this, but what they've forgotten is I can add I can add commands to this and it will work. So let's say I want to add ls here. So what is going to happen here is it's going to ping that particular IP address, and when it is done pinging the IP address, you can see it's listed all my directories. It does, that means it did everything here, and it is going to list your directory to do the second. So you can add multiple what's the name commands together, and it will run it. So in this kind of website now, where we have something, this is not like the only website, we have some other websites also that has this thing like implemented on their website, and they're not handling user requests. Or what they did was they just do this kind of thing and they leave it. There should be a way that they should make it okay. If anybody is trying to like run something else from an IP address, maybe the person is supplying something else, do not run it. We only want the person to supply IP address alone and nothing else than IP address. There are different ways that we can do this. I can also use this one, and it should give me the same thing also. Okay, this one too works sometimes. I don't know why it's not working, but it does. It works. Okay, let's try this one, and you will see all these commands actually. This thing, there are things that actually like work. So if I now do the same thing on this website, so let me try. Where is it? And I say ls. So that means when it is done pinging, because of they are not handling user requests perfectly, it is going to run this the ls at the back, and you can see it ran ls. So for example, now let's say they have a particular folder on the server that has password, or they have a particular folder that is really sensitive or something. I can combine different commands together just to like exploit whatsoever they have there. That is command injection. Do we have any question, please? Before I continue, before we start doing, I won't do something complex here. Any question, please? Do we understand the concept of command injection? Okay. You guys are not saying anything. That means you guys understand. So we can still go a notch ahead. So let's still do 127.0.0.1. And I will use this one to like differentiate it. So now you can see when I did the ls, it showed me there's a particular what was the name file called index.php. So I can do cat index.php, and we can, when the commands come back, you see whatever it is index.php, that's what that's the information I'm seeing here. The information they have in index.php, it is giving me all these things in real time. And this is not meant to be so actually in actual, like in real life or in actual development. You should be able to undo like your client or your users requests adequately. It is just that exact thing you want them to do. They should not be able to pass in extra things. This command injection is almost similar to CSRF also. No, sorry, XSS, I mean XSS also. XSS also is almost something similar to this. That when the whoever the developer is, they are not handling the user's inputs perfectly, then they can do so many things. If you can be looking like, okay, in what situation is this actually, or in what, let's say like you go to Facebook and you see that box where they say post something, everybody will just write, maybe it is a good day, or somebody will just write something random or stuff like that. Attackers can go to that same box and they will put maybe like it is a good day, and they will not put maybe a script alongside with it and run it, just to see if that particular page or that particular input, maybe there is a vulnerability or there is a threat there that they can exploit. Not just Facebook alone, they do it in different websites actually. That's what I'm saying. These are things that you need to, like, you gather information, a lot of information from different places, then you're not coming back to now and start testing their websites and see, okay, what exactly can be the problem here. Let's say, like, those, you guys are on the project right now, your developers, they have a particular page or a form, and you just want to know if that particular form is also, like, there's any threat of vulnerabilities there. You can just pattern, maybe try this command injection, maybe in the, they'll say in most form they will put your name, maybe your address and your message, then they'll see, you see send. Under that message, somebody can put an SSS script there, and you won't know. You just go and run that script, and boom, they have the session ID or whatsoever, and they can get into your account just like that. Hopefully by next week we'll be able to do XSS or CSR. If anyone actually that comes our way, we'll be able to do it. So I was trying to, before this class, we can actually still do some things actually. Let's say 0.0.1, and let me use this. So we do ls. I can't even remember the folder again that we actually like saw there. So we can do things like, who am I? We can do things like host name. I can add as many commands as possible that I want this thing to run, and it will keep running it. I can even say echo in act, and trust me, it's going to run every of this command one by one. So you can see the first one I did was who am I. The next thing is I think host name, and I said it should echo you have been hacked. So this, in its sense, it has defeated whatsoever thing the developer actually had in mind, and this is a vulnerability people actually like exploit. So let's say in this particular folder where this thing is, they have maybe a password or they have a sensitive data there. I can just get that I can download that data or cut it just to open it, see whatever is in the folder, and the information is being leaked already. So that is just what like everything that has to do with what's the name? Command injection. So it is when users inputs are not being handled well. Okay, what I was trying to do before this class was I was trying to do a reverse shell. That means, let's try it again and see if it will work. So for me to do reverse shell, I've tried a lot of this stuff, but it's not working. So this is what I actually like want to do. So I will just try to listen. I'm trying to listen. I'm using Netcat and I'm listening at this particular 1337. So I'm back to this particular website. So what I'm going to tell you guys to do is, I want you to do your normal pinging that you actually like made to do, and also I want you to make a reverse shell, like give me access to this particular website, like everything on this website or on this server or in using this particular port, which is the port I'm listening to here. So when I submit it, automatically, I'm listening to the port here. I should actually like have a kind of a reverse shell, but it has not been working. I've tried it once and it worked, but I tried it again over and over again, and I've been trying to modify the commands. It has not been working. So I don't know, maybe probably next week if I can get the reverse shell working properly. So what the reverse shell is just going to do is it's going to do the normal pinging, and it will give me access to whatever server is there. I'll be able to like access that server on my own career, and I can mess up with their, because it's like I'm already in their system. So all the ls, all the commands that I can run on a normal terminal, like on my own normal, I can run it on, like it will look as if I logged into, I don't know if you guys have seen an FTP website before. Like I log into an FTP website and I'm actually like moving inside the person's system, or it will look as if I asked somebody else and I'm in that person's system. I can do whatever I want to do inside that system. I can install a malware, do a lot of things if I actually like wish to. So, but I'll keep trying the reverse shell, and if it works, we can start from there next week. And if it does not work, I don't know, I'll find a way around it though. Then we'll go to the next one, maybe either CRF, file equation, file up, any one of these ones. We'll be doing it next week. Yeah, do we have any questions so far? Okay. Um, yeah. So that means we'll meet next week then if there is no question, I guess. Um, I think I tried this command too. So this is just to know if they have any folder or something that has to do with password. If they do, I can get it. So these are just like commands that you just use to, you can just try it on, but the ethical part of it, you must not go and do it on a live website or a website you don't have permission. You have to make sure you do it on a website that it is either a test website if you're using WebGoat, um, DVWA or whatever testing website. You can try it on this thing also, OneWeb, Phonetics, and the likes. So these are just things you can try. So this one will actually like help you to understand maybe a reverse shell, how to, okay, I think when we talk about XSS, then we'll talk more about scripting, how you can embed scripting, and somebody else that comes the next time or the next day will be the one to go and like they will be the ones, like let's say for example, now what is your name? Instead of me just putting my name, I can put a script there. So let's just put a random, do I even still know what this thing? Just say RPT, and we can put something inside of it. Let's say you can just run the script inside of this, and when we run the script, it is going to run, echo something out, and the next person that comes to this particular website, although not this one actually, let's say it's a normal website actually, the next person that goes there and try something, it's going to send us like what we did. I wanted to do with the reverse shell actually, like I'm listening at a particular port, it's going to send us the person's session ID, and we can use the person's session ID to log into the person's account, and we are in. Yeah, so this is just like a good platform to learn as much as possible, learn all these individual stuffs. And if you learn as much as possible, you don't want to go into the bug bounty line, you can go to all these Akawan, I think Akawan, different bug bounty websites. Just try. You will see different big websites like LinkedIn and the likes. They have their stuffs there. For every product they actually like introducing, they actually like ask people to test it. And when you test it and you get into their system, then you you get a lot of money actually. So yeah, just try to learn as much as possible from DBWA or WebGoat or whichever one works for you. Then move to Aka one if you want to do bug bounty. And yeah, it is well. It is sorry to be you can get money from there and stuff like that. Yeah. So there is no question, right? We can call it a night, and we'll meet again the same time next week. Yeah. 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 Take care of yourself. Good night. We meet again next week. Bye.